Welcome back to the channel, and boy do we have a great episode for you today in this Build a TI2 Brompton series. We travel to Scotland to meet Ben Cooper, owner of Kinetics. Ben specialises in custom builds and is known worldwide for his custom fork and rear triangle for Bromptons. He is located in Glasgow, which happens to be my hometown, so I took this opportunity to visit my homeland and pick up my order for my Brompton. This is the next step in my puzzle and I cannot wait to get this part. Now, let's hit the road and continue this quest to surely build the ultimate Brompton. He's the Brompton Guy! And today is the day. I have a smile on my face and I cannot believe I'm up in Scotland to pick up my order of my custom Brompton parts. This is sort of the crux of this build and it's been amazing to partner with Ben to get these. When I got the call saying that they were in, I couldn't help but feel giggly, so I'm on my way to get them. I'm not too far away from his shop at the moment. I want you to have the same experience I have. Now, Ben did tell me that he is tight for time, so I don't think I'm going to actually get any time to ask him questions or anything on that side, but what I will do is after this, I'm going to cut straight into the reveal of the product. So it hopefully gives you a little bit the same experience it gave me when I see them. I've not seen them yet, but I'm pretty sure I feel even more giddier. So let's cut to the product shot.
This is the all-new Brompton, redesigned from the ground up to accelerate our mission for complete urban freedom. New technologies have paved the way for this Brompton of the future. Finally, a Brompton to tackle all terrains in all weathers. This new design allows for cutting-edge technologies like brake discs, up to 11 speeds of gearing, and electronic shifting. But we didn't stop there. This radical redesign will now accommodate 20-inch rims and a maximum tire width of 2.4. This is the Brompton that will tackle mountains and achieve the impossible. This is the Brompton of the future.
It's pretty incredible, right? I do believe that video compilation summed it up absolutely perfectly for how my emotions first felt when I first seen it. It was everything I could have expected, and I really hope you got that little first glance of like, wow, it does actually look pretty good. But we do have them both in the flesh here. We have the new frame and the old frame, and it probably is wise to just put them side by side and just answer a couple of basic questions on what's different on them. So let's get stuck into the frame. Here we have the new one, and what I like to call Brompton Guy Yellow. This is by far one of my favourite colours, and it was a no-brainer when they says what colour do you want for it. All of them should come in this, in my opinion. Noticeable stuff you can notice straight off the bat. So obviously in the design here we don't actually have all circular tubing like the old frame. We have some flat bar, and the flat bar then goes into round bar, back to flat, and we have disc brake mounts, which as we know is one of my key tick in here. So as we've seen in the wheel build video, we're going to have hydraulic disc brakes on here for 160 rotors. You will notice the cut-offs is slightly different, and I believe the only reason for this is because it's made for the roll-off hubs also. Obviously we're going with the 11-speed Di2, but I believe that's why this is cut that way. But I do love like the shaping on it. The shaping is just really nice, just makes it look like really high-end, and when we compare it to the Brompton one, I'll show you what I mean on that side there. Obviously notably wider. This measures in, I believe, about 150 millimeters, and the original Brompton I think is about 120, so this is what then can accommodate that new hub. But this is actually a slightly different frame than what Ben does for his standard. So this is what they call the mountain bike frame, and that is because, as I said in there, it can accommodate up to 2.4 inch wide tires, which are essentially a massive chunky boys. I do have a comparisons for that just to show you first, because I think that's important. So here is your traditional Brompton tyre. Very boring, very bland, very basic. And then this is what this frame will accommodate. I think it's clear to say it's a little bit bigger. But yeah, this will fit in that frame. And let's just do a side by side of them. It just feels ridiculous. So I think when I highlight the point that this is all terrain, like this will go between road wheels and the chunkies depending on what event I'm doing. And to give you an idea, if you've not seen my previous video, let me just get it out of the way, is this is the wheel build from it. So this is the wheel that would go on, 20-inch, and this was with the road tyre on it, so my slicks. And then even that looks really big, you know, it'll take it even bigger, so you actually get significantly more ground clearance also from having these on it. But I just wanted to give that as a side-by-side comparison because it still blows my mind, the difference to it there. If we bring up the old one, I'll keep that in shot here. So if we go by side, we've obviously got a different finish at the very end of these. I actually quite like this. This is recessed in. This is just a flat butt there. For here, we have actually been given these also, called like little dog ears. And because it's got the 20-inch wheels, they go on it there. And it doesn't need to roll on back wheels anymore because the 20-inch clearance actually lets it roll really comfortably on the wheel itself, which obviously once I get it built I'll show you on that. We obviously lose just a lot of little mounts from around the frame, so we got a mount here we lose the cable guide and derailleur, we lose the little chain pusher at the back, we lose the little mount to go into it. We've still kept the similar here because you can still put reflectors on, and this is what I was trying to highlight on there. So the finishing in this is just so boring, just succular, like it just looks so bland. And again, in comparison to that, like it just looks magnificent, you know. It really does. And I hope that video did do it justice. Obviously, I'm not expecting like a massive change. I mean, the tubing is thinner on this. This is thicker tubing at the bottom here. Yeah, I'd actually say it's probably about the same. Yeah, it's got thicker bottom tubes than that, but I'd say the upper tubes are about the same on that side there. So this new frame here weighs 1,127 grams, and the old frame is 783 grams. So not much in it, but it is a difference, my memory serves me, of 344 grams difference. Obviously by the time I add like the bigger wheel and all that, it is still going to be heavy. Now my aim for this bike isn't to get weight down, it's purely to have an enjoyable bike that can tackle all terrains. So the weight on this doesn't bother me as much, it's more just seeing what is possible. As we all know, I'm doing my best to try and get myself a T-line, so when I do some of the harder, longer endurance events, the T-line would have its own place in that alone there. But going from these, let's now switch around and go to the forks. Boom! Here we have the forks. So luckily these are much easier to hold, and probably as a global whole, less to talk about the changes on them. The only thing I really do think is beautiful is the craftsmanship on this new one. Like, let's start on the old one here for it. So everyone probably on here knows what Brompton fork looks like. It's incredibly basic at the bottom, doesn't have a quick release, works on having nuts, literal latch to hold the handles, and you don't see this part. But one of the changes is here, you might not see from there, there's a little cutout groove here for when you're putting when you're rebuilding it. It has a little washer that helps lock that in place. This one doesn't, and the thread on this one is also noticeably longer. Not like it really makes any difference in any way, shape or form there, but there's really nothing to say on this side. So actually let me just put this here. Now the new one obviously still has the same, so it incorporates now a disc brake mount, so we can mount a disc brake on here, And we also have the cable guide for the hydraulic brake cable to go down. It's obviously made for a quick release, and this goes up to a standard 135, so you can pretty much fit majority of front hubs on it, which has just made it absolutely amazing. But the detailing at the top is the big thing for me up here. Like, you should have seen it in the video, like, it just looks like amazing craftsmanship. Like, someone's fought to put design elements and to make it look pretty, and it really does, compared to just these flat butts. Like, it just looks stunning, and obviously has this beautiful arch here to accommodate that 2.4 wide tire. But yeah, just magnificent on that side. One of the last things I need to do for that is the weights. I've not actually done that, so let me go get a scale. Right, I've just went and got my trusted scale, so let's measure the old fork first. Let's see the easiest way to try and get this on. So that weighs 577 grams. And let's have a little look at this one here. 730 grams. So again, not much in it, but for what you can actually do with it, it's an absolute no-brainer to me. Absolute no-brainer. So now that we've had time there to talk over some of the differences on the new kit I have, a couple of other things you might want to know. How much do they cost? Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it in any way. They are not cheap. So for the pair was £790 for them on there. So cost more than the bike. I paid £500 for my Brompton used. So just this set alone has been a substantial investment into it, and by the time you add it all up, I'll do a running total for what the conversion is, but this is definitely one of the places you cannot save, because you pretty much have no competition. It's one guy that manufactures them and no one else does them anywhere else. So you bite the bullet, you do it. But Ben is phenomenal, and I'll put a link to his website down in the description so that you can have a look at what he does, because his pictures on there are just absolutely amazing. We'll just show you what impact this guy has on, I guess, the Brompton community. But from now, I think we've talked over there. I think we'll call that episode here, and the next one will then be getting into building this back into the frame, getting it all realigned, and then starting to put some of the exciting stuff onto it. So the next one will probably cover us putting the brakes and all that on it there. So as always, thank you so much for sticking to the end. It really does help, as everyone on YouTube says, if you can like the video, and if you are interested in more Brompton content, if you can subscribe to the channel. It really helps me because I'm just starting out, but I'll be here for the long haul. So thank you very much, and see you soon. Thank you so much for sticking to the end. If you learned something new, I've got some more amazing dedicated Brompton content up here. And if you liked what you've seen and you want to help support the channel, you can scan the QR code down here. This will take you to my Buy Me a Cuppa page. This page has been set up to let you, the audience, help donate money to me so that I can continue to do some amazing projects. At the moment, I'm working incredibly hard to raise the funds for a Brompton T-line, because some of the upcoming projects I want to do in the pipeline require this specific bike. Don't want to give too many reasons why yet, but any help you can give will go such a long way, and thank you if you can donate just a little to the channel. Hope you've enjoyed it. Until the next one, goodbye.